They arrested 200 people, hanged 20th, tortured more, and nearly accused a governor's wife. All because a group of teenage girls said they had visions. Could you survive the justice system that believed in ghosts more than facts? I, cold open. The accusation. The knock isn't polite. It slams against the door like thunder, shaking the wooden frame, jolting you awake in the freezing dark. You sit up. You don't breathe. You already know. You've seen it happen to others. And now they've come for you. You scramble to the door with bare feet on dirt floor. 2 men stand outside. One holds a crude torch. The other grips a folded parchment sealed in wax. You are summoned, by order of the magistrates. You've been named. Your throat dries. By who? You think of Sarah Elkins, whose child died last week. Of Martha, who caught you picking herbs near the edge of the woods. Of that church elder's daughter, the one who screamed when you looked at her too long. You ask no questions. You're not allowed to. Outside, the street is already gathering. Neighbors watch in silence. The baker, the cobbler, the woman who borrowed your broom last week. Now she won't meet your eyes. You are 28, a farmer's widow. You missed church once because of fever. You sell salves for coughs. You talk to your dog. You said once that dreams meant something, and that was enough. Your hands are shaking. The torchlight dances across the dirt path as they pull you down the road. Somebody whispers, "Witch." You pass the chapel, the stocks, the graveyard, and you wonder, is this what justice looks like? In this town, fear is law, and truth is what the frightened choose to believe. You haven't even spoken yet, and already they've decided what you are. Witch, demon, enemy. This is 1692, Massachusetts Bay Colony. And the only thing more dangerous than guilt is being innocent. Second life in the town before the trial. This is a town where silence is safety, where even your thoughts feel like crimes. You live in a squat timber-framed house, drafty, dim, built by hand. No glass in the windows, only oiled paper. The hearth burns low because firewood is scarce this winter. The roof leaks when it rains. You boil cornmeal every morning, sometimes with dried pumpkin if you're lucky. Salt pork is a luxury. Sugar is unheard of. There's no doctor here, no school, no laughter. Church is your only guarantee of protection. Attendance isn't optional. It's law. Every Sunday, you sit in a hard wooden pew for 4 hours, listening to fire and brimstone sermons, warning of Satan's agents, witches, midwives, widows, girls who speak out of turn. Your Bible is your only book. Reading anything else could brand you suspicious. Even dreams are dangerous. You saw it yourself just 3 weeks ago. A young man was accused after describing a dream of flying. They said he consorted with the devil. 2 days later, he vanished. They say he confessed. You never saw him again. You remember when the tavern was shut down, dancing banned, card games forbidden, even singing a lullaby too sweetly makes people look sideways at you. And the line between devout and damned is razor thin. A cough in church, suspicious. A red ribbon tied in your hair, temptation, a miscarriage, must be witchcraft. Your hands never stop moving. You sew, cook, scrub, spin, because idleness is the devil's work. Because pausing means someone might notice you. And notice is danger. This town runs on whispers, on guilt and grain, on sermons and secrets and snow-covered graves. And now you know. You were never safe. Not really. Because in 1692, salvation doesn't come from faith. It comes from being invisible. Third, the accusation process. You don't hear the accusations firsthand. You feel them. It starts with stares, then silence, then the whisper of your name behind shuttered windows. One girl, barely 14, says she saw your specter in the night, hovering above her as she screamed in torment. Another says you pinched her with invisible fingers. A third claims you came to her in a dream, whispering dark things in a tongue she didn't understand. You weren't even near them, but that doesn't matter. In Salem, 1692, the spirit is on trial, not the body, and now the town believes your soul betrayed you. You stand before the magistrates, and they don't ask if you did it. They ask why. Why did you torment the girls? What demon spoke through you? Whose name did you sign in the devil's book? Spectral evidence is allowed. No proof, no witnesses, just the trembling word of a frightened child, and the town believes them. They twitch, scream, and fall to the floor at the mere sound of your name. They say the pain returns when you glance at them. They say your touch burns. And if you deny it, that's exactly what a witch would do. But if you confess, they'll spare you, but only if you give them another name. So who do you betray? Your neighbor? Your friend? Your own child? Because the path to survival here isn't truth. It's compliance. And as the courtroom gasps and girls wail in feigned agony, you realize they don't need you to be guilty. They just need you to be next. The interrogation and tests. They drag you to the meeting house, not a courtroom, not a church, just wooden benches and cold eyes. The magistrates sit at the front, surrounded by ministers, scribes, and the very girls who named you. They don't greet you. They accuse. Why did you send your specter to torment the children? Who taught you the devil's marks? How long have you served Lucifer? You plead innocence, but your voice cracks, and they seize on it. They say witches lie easily, that the devil teaches his servants how to mimic tears. Then come the tests. First, they strip you down, searching every inch of your skin for a witch's teat, a freckle, a birthmark, any mark where a demon might suckle. If they find something, it's evidence. If they don't, they search harder. Next, the touch test. The afflicted are writhing on the floor, screaming, cursing your name. You're forced to touch one. And when she stops thrashing, they say it proves you caused the fit, and your touch broke the spell. Then comes the worst, the dunking. They tie your wrists to your ankles, drag you to the edge of the pond. Townspeople gather, breath held. If you sink and drown, you're innocent in God's eyes. If you float, the devil holds you up, and you'll burn. This isn't justice. It's a ritual of fear. And every time you scream, every time you beg, the crowd grows more certain. You're not one of them. You're a witch. And witches must be cleansed. V. Jail and trial. The jail smells of wet stone, mold, and despair. You're chained to the wall. Your ankles raw. Your back bent. The cell is so small you can't stretch your legs. You sleep, sitting up, if at all. There's no mattress, only dirt. Your cellmates moan through the night. One woman hasn't stopped sobbing for 3 days. Another hasn't spoken since her child was taken. You're fed once a day, a crust of stale bread and a tin cup of murky water. The rats get to it before you do. No one tells you how long you'll stay. Some prisoners rot here for weeks. Others vanish. You hear rumors. Someone confessed and was pardoned. Someone else refused, and they buried her yesterday. Then, the trial. They call it a hearing, but there's no defense, no lawyer, no real evidence, just whispers, visions, and trembling accusations. The girls perform again, screaming when you look at them, collapsing when your name is spoken. A minister opens with prayer. They watch your lips. One stumble, and they claim Satan is inside you. The judge already looks tired. He doesn't want facts. He wants names. He leans forward. Will you confess? You hesitate, confess, and live with guilt. Deny and hang. They give you one night to decide. Alone, cold, staring at the wall, wondering how truth ever became a death sentence. By morning, the noose waits outside. Sixth execution or escape. The sun hasn't yet risen when they lead you out. The rope is already tied to the tree. No trial today, only sentence. You didn't confess. You wouldn't name others. That's all they needed. A crowd gathers. Children sit on shoulders. Elders stand solemn. Some believe you're guilty. Others are just relieved it isn't them. You walk barefoot on frost-covered earth. Your breath fogs in the morning air. You can hear the creak of the rope swaying in the wind. One woman in the crowd whispers a prayer. Another turns her head. But most remain silent. They've seen this before. Just a week ago, Rebecca Nurse, a grandmother of 8, was hanged in this very spot. Her only crime? Arguing with a neighbor over land. A magistrate reads your sentence. You're asked again, will you confess now? You remain silent. And so, like Giles Corey, who refused to speak and was pressed to death under heavy stones, you choose dignity over lies. The executioner pulls the hood over your head. The rope tightens. But at the last second, a voice cuts through the crowd. Wait! It's the governor's messenger arriving on horseback with a parchment. A stay of execution. Another high-profile accusation has shaken the colony. Ministers are questioning the trials. The public is beginning to turn. You live. But not because of innocence, because politics changed overnight. Seventh historical reflection and moral question. You're released, but you're not free. Not really. You walk home through a town that still sees you as cursed. Your neighbors avoid your gaze. Children whisper when you pass. You didn't hang, but the rope still haunts your dreams, and the stain of accusation never washes off. In 1692, over 200 people were accused of witchcraft across Massachusetts. 30 were found guilty, 20 were executed, 19 by hanging. One, Giles Corey, was slowly crushed with stones over 3 days. His final words, "More weight." Most of the accused weren't criminals. They were women without husbands, men who owed debts, or anyone who voiced unpopular opinions. People feared difference, and difference became damnation. And the justice system? It wasn't built to find truth. It was built to restore order, even if that meant killing the innocent. The madness finally ended when the accusations reached too high, when respected ministers, wealthy landowners, and judges' wives were named. Only then did the governor step in to halt the trials. But the damage was done. Homes burned, families ruined, children orphaned, and generations haunted by the memory of a world where truth had no power, and silence could be fatal. So now the question returns to you. Could you survive a day in a town where paranoia rules, truth doesn't matter, and even your dreams can betray you? Or would you break, like so many others did? Because in Salem, innocence offered no protection. Only fear decided who lived and who died. If this shook you, wait till you see what happened in the next witch town over. History's darkest trials are far from over. Hit like, subscribe, and keep watching, because surviving the past might teach us how to survive what's next.